Hi, and welcome to our training video for Contexture's BillWatch AI Tune-Up. The AI Tune-Up is a feature of our BillWatch platform that allows you to take our natural language processing-based recommendation engine for a spin for free to analyze the bills that you are currently tracking and demonstrate the benefit of using artificial intelligence to find content over rudimentary keyword search that other bill tracking services offer. The tune-up process will generate a report that you can download that compares our recommendation engine results with your keyword search results and shows you what you're missing, some false positives your keywords may have picked up on, and some insights about the regulatory landscape for your industry of interest, all generated automatically and on the fly by the Contexture platform. To start the tune-up process, we're here on the Contexture homepage, contexture.ai. From the menu, navigate to Products, BillWatch, and AI Tune-Up. This page has some more background information on the tune-up process that you can read. From here, we're going to jump straight to the Take the AI Tune-Up button. This button takes us to the sign-up page. This page also describes the process steps that we're going to go through. We'll walk through these steps in the video using some sample data to illustrate the process. The first step is to fill out the form with your contact information and click the Sign Up button. Signing up is free. Step 2 is we will provide some information about our bill tracking profile in the form of an Excel spreadsheet. This will give the engine a selection of bills that you are currently tracking or that are relevant to you. This is used by the Contexture machine learning engine to learn about the topics that you are interested in. You will also provide your search keywords in the Excel sheet so that we can compare our AI-generated bill recommendations to your search results. Step 3 is to upload the completed profile spreadsheet. At this point, the Contexture engine will analyze your bills of interest and search keywords on the fly and generate a PDF report with the results, which we will download on Step 4. Let's assume that we've filled out the sign-up form, and we'll skip ahead now to Step 2. Once you submit the sign-up form, you'll land on this page where you can upload your bill profile and run the tune-up process. Near the bottom of the page are two orange buttons that will download sample bill templates. The first one is a blank template with some instructions in it. The second button downloads a completed profile template that is filled in with some sample data. Let's take a look at the blank template first. Clicking on this will allow you to download and save an Excel file, or you can launch Excel directly from the button if your browser supports it. So here I've clicked on the blank template button and launched Microsoft Excel. Now we can start filling out our bill profile, starting with column A, which will have some keywords and phrases for our topic of interest. In this case, we'll use some sample data for cosmetology bill tracking. Let's say that we're a company or an industry association that is interested in legislation that impacts nail salons, hairstylists, barbershops, and the like. Let's put a few keywords in here to that effect. These can be single words or multi-word phrases. Enter them one per row in this column. You must enter at least one keyword or phrase. Next, we'll enter some bills that we know are relevant to us in columns C and D. Each bill is identified by a bill number and a state. Each state uses its own numbering system, so enter whatever the state uses to identify their bills. Most states use a scheme of letters and numbers in their bill identifiers. Just enter it as one word with no spaces in it. These identifiers often overlap between the states, so the state abbreviation in column D is required. If you're tracking U.S. federal legislation, enter U.S. for the state. Enter one bill per row in these columns. You must enter at least one. Next, you'll see another spot for bill identifiers in columns F and G. This is for you to enter any bills that you know are not relevant to your industry. This might sound counterintuitive to ask for this, but most bill tracking searches often turn up what we call false positives. That is, bills that contain your search terms, but that are not relevant for some other reason. For example, we're using the keyword barber, but that may be the last name of a legislator who is sponsoring a bill, so it's possible a simple keyword search could turn up a bill with that word in the text that isn't relevant. Another example is if you find a bill commemorating National Barber Appreciation Day or something like that. That type of bill is actually very realistic and can clutter up your search results with bills that relate to your industry, but that are likely not something that you care to track. So providing both positive and negative examples of relevancy is a way to inform our machine learning algorithm that it needs to distinguish between those types of bills. I should note that for the tune-up process, filling in these irrelevant bills in columns F and G is completely optional, and the engine will work fine without them. The more important part is the relevant bills in columns C and D, where you need to provide at least one bill. Finally, columns I and J contain some filter criteria that are used to restrict the bills the engine will consider for this tune-up exercise. You can put in an optional date range, bill status codes, and limit the states that we look at. The status and state fields accept a comma-separated list of values. For example, if you were interested only in U.S. federal legislation plus Virginia legislation, you could put U.S., VA in this field. See the comments in the spreadsheet for more information on these fields. I'm going to close this template spreadsheet now and show our sample template that's filled in for this cosmetology example profile. You can see the sample by clicking on the Sample Completed Template button back on the upload page. So here's the completed sample template. We've added more keywords as well as lists of relevant and irrelevant bills. When you're finished with your profile spreadsheet, save it locally and make a note of the folder where you put it. Now it's time to upload the profile and turn the Contexture engine loose on it. You can click on the blue circle to browse to your saved template, or simply drag the Excel file from its folder onto the blue circle, which is what I'll do here. Once you start the upload, the platform will immediately begin analyzing your profile and creating your tune-up report. This may take a few seconds, especially if you have lots of bills in your profile spreadsheet. Once the report's ready, we'll be prompted to download it. Looks like the report is finished, so let's open it up in a PDF viewer. Depending on how your browser is set up, you may be prompted to download the file first, or it could display directly within your browser window. So let's dive into the report. The tune-up report rates your profile across 3 areas. The first area is the quality and topical focus of your tracked bills. The next area is how well the tracked bills you provided reflect the extent of the topic in the repository. A good rating here means you're already tracking most of the relevant bills. A poor rating means that our recommendation engine has found lots of bills that you're potentially missing. Finally, we rate how well the keywords you provided are performing in identifying relevant content. This first section is a summary, where you can see your overall rating and how it breaks down. For this profile, we scored 3 stars out of 5. The rest of the report will go into more detail about why. The next section under Your Profile rates your tracked bills. In our sample data, we provided lots of bills, but we had a mixture of topics which the engine has picked up on. It has identified a couple of outlier bills that were in the profile spreadsheet as tracked bills, but that don't seem to reflect the cosmetology focus of the profile. We may be mistakenly tracking these bills, possibly because they contain our keywords, but not in the right context. Moving on to the recommendation section, we can see a list of the top 10 bills that our recommendation engine found that were not in your list of tracked bills. You can see by the scores on the right-hand column that the engine considers these as very strong recommendations. Interestingly, the top recommendation has a title relating to intimate partner violence that doesn't sound relevant to our cosmetology industry focus. These bill numbers in the PDF are actually links, so let's click on this bill and take a quick look at it to see why this was recommended. This is the official page for this bill on the Hawaii State Legislature site. We can immediately see in the description that this bill is indeed relevant to our cosmetology profile. This is a bill requiring certain employees, like barbers and beauticians regulated by the Board of Barbering and Cosmetology, to complete a training course on how to recognize signs of domestic violence. This is a real-life example of how you might miss a bill if you're only looking at bill titles to decide whether they're relevant. Okay, back to the report. You can see that our rating for this section is 2 stars out of 5. This indicates that the AI engine found many strong recommendations that were missing based on the profile that we uploaded. We also had some information in the report about the score range of our top 50 recommendations and a couple of examples of other bills that the Contexture engine recommended that were not found in the search results using your keywords, indicating that you may have missed them if you were finding bills by keyword search. The next section rates how well your keywords identify relevant bills. We scored 3 stars out of 5 in this area. Here are the top 10 search results found using the keywords we provided for the profile. The scores here are pretty good, but not as high as the recommendation scores, as described in this section. The engine has also reported an obvious false positive in this South Carolina bill found in the top 50 keyword search hits. Incidentally, if you look at this bill, it's a Senate resolution to celebrate the 80th birthday of a South Carolina resident. The bill describes her background and the fact that she earned a certificate in cosmetology and owned a beauty salon. This is something that keyword search picked up on, but take a look at the score that the Contexture engine assigned, 0.07, indicating that it really isn't relevant in terms of cosmetology policy, a clear false positive showing the drawbacks of keyword search. Finally, the last page of the report shows a chart comparing our recommendation results with the keyword search results for this profile. The blue line indicates the scores of the top 50 bills found by our AI-based recommendation engine. The orange line shows the scores of the top 50 bills returned by keyword search. You can see how quickly the keyword search scores fall off while the recommendation engine continues to identify highly relevant content. Using our recommendation engine to find relevant bills instead of keyword search produces better results with fewer false positives and false negatives, saving you time in finding bills to track, and most importantly, ensuring that you don't miss a piece of legislation that impacts your industry. This concludes our training video on the Contexture AI Tune-Up. Be sure to try the tune-up yourself on your own bill tracking profile to see how our AI engine can improve your results. Thanks for watching.